How's it hanging, YouTube? Peter here, your ginger Geordie Geek. Welcome back to the channel for another... I nearly said Saturday Night Live. It's not Saturday, it's Monday. It's basically the same bloody show. But anyway, I am surrounded by some of my best pals on YouTube. We've got James T. Keegan. How are you, James?
Ayo.
Oh, that was a very subdued... Ew. I want to put a bit of effort in, man. We'll do it again.
Ayo.
How are you, James? Let us set you up, man.
Sorry,
How are you, James?
Ayo.
That's better. That's better. Luke, bring the energy.
Ayo.
Yeah.
To be fair, I've got kids asleep in the other room, so maybe I can't be as loud.
Yeah, and James is a kid, so yeah. And we are joined by the main man himself, Super Sorrel. How are you, Sorrel? You see, that's how it's done. That's how it's done. We've got loads to get through tonight, guys. It's always a pleasure spending time with you. Just a little pre-warning, ladies and gentlemen. I am on call tonight. So if I do have to take a phone call because the hospital's on fire or something exciting like that, James will take you through the slides. But hopefully I'll be straight back. We've got tons of interesting news and tidbits to get through, so let's just quickly crack on. Just before we do that, let's say hello to a few people. We have what?
Sorry, I just saw a comment there, and I just had a realization, so I'll let you get to it. I'm sure.
We've got Fuzzy of the Dunlop. We meet again, indeed we do, Fuzzy. I hope you are well, my friend. We've got Terry, the dead man. Terry is smashing it, absolutely smashing it on YouTube at the moment. He's got some great videos out. Please do go check out his channel. He's just starting out, but he's doing great work. And he joined Dr. Von Hoot on Saturday for he lost his live show of virginity to Dr. Von Hoot, which is an interesting one. So very nice show. Really enjoyed it. So well done, Terry. And we're going to get Terry on some of our shows and also This Is My in the near future. Hi, pop culture catch up people. We've got Rogue One. Nice to see you, Phil. Some interesting hot toy news today, mate. Did you guys see the battle damaged Vader figure?
Yeah, it looks really cool. Yeah. It looks like him at the end of Force Unleashed. So I'm like,
yeah,
that's
bionic arm and bionic legs and stuff. And yeah, we'll talk about that in our toy show in a bit because it looked spectacular. Deadman, congrats on the 5,000. Thank you so much, Deadman.
When the fuck did that happen? Just checked and I'm like, whoa.
Just shits and giggles, isn't it?
Just now, and I'm like, what, how?
Yeah, shits and giggles.
I just want to say, man, well earned. Like, you've been at this, we've all been at this a while, and I think it's long overdue. So congratulations. That's amazing that you're finally getting that kind of recognition.
Well, we'll see.
No, I'm incredibly jealous, and I want to know how.
Yeah, of course you do. No, I've been very lucky. I've had a few videos take off, which was very, very nice. Connie, nice to see you, Connie. I hope you're well. Always a pleasure. Connie, let me know you come to Thought Bubble this year. I hope you are. It'll be nice to see you. Thanks, Peter. I just dropped the 1959 one. Don't know what you mean.
Video? You just dropped a new video?
1959 one? Not sure what you mean. Let me know what you mean, Terry. And Hot Toys bringing the fire. Indeed they have, bud. Okay, let's crack right on. We've got lots to get through. Oh, the video. 1959 video. Yeah. Fuzzy, I joined at 31 subs. 31. Day one, bitches. Fuzzy, you absolutely did, mate. You absolutely did. I cannot thank you enough, bud. You've been a staunch supporter. And you've also been wise counsel from time to time. So thank you so much, mate. Okay, let's crack on. I'm going to start off with a bit of MCU news. We've got this rumble that the Russo brothers are in talks to direct the next 2 Avengers movie. You excited for that, guys? Is that something that interests you?
Yes, I think this is a great move. I think this is, like, Marvel didn't want them back for a while. So this is, like, desperation, I feel. But they did direct, I would argue, the best Marvel movie. And pretty much like, you know, 4 of the top 8, I would say, Marvel movies out there. So... Great move. They obviously able to work in that system, and they can work with Marvel well. And they're excellent directors. So I think this is a great move.
Yeah. What about the rest of you?
I'm in two minds about it, to be honest. I think they've done really well with their Marvel movies. I have a few little quibbles here and there about certain things that they've done, like Civil War, for example, take place mostly in a car park at an airport. because I like the civilians. I like seeing things happen. But
Bite your tongue, Keegan. Bite your tongue.
but that
I
being
said nothing. I
that
said
being
nothing. I
said,
actually didn't.
but that being said, their other movies since Endgame on other platforms and other places haven't been all that good, and so I'm a little bit concerned. I think they'll still do well with Marvel. I think that's where maybe their heart is. That's something that they can achieve. But just seeing that kind of drop off from from doing Infinity War and doing Endgame, and then going on to other projects that just weren't so good.
So-
They didn't quite hit the mark.
So, with that in mind, Sorrel, sadly, you're at the last of my little rundown here, so you're going to get the tough question. With what Luke's just said in mind, it plays into something I think of a lot. These guys are the directors, yeah? Which is very important. I'm not taking that away from it. But the script writers and the storytellers seem to get very little praise at times. Surely they're the bigger part, the people that are actually writing what we're going to go and see. So, yes, it's great to have good directors, but is it the writing talent that's more important? What do you think?
Writing can. They always give the director the praise, but it's because they direct what's in the written bit. They can write wherever you want. You could write the best thing ever. If you haven't got a good director, it's not going to go anywhere.
Yeah.
One thing I've never understood with the MCU, though, we've already got millions of comic books and comic book writers out there that have written for Marvel over the years. Why have they never had those as consultants on anything? Why has Marvel not got their writers in to write the thing, then had a script writer re-edit it to a script format, and then get the directors on? You know what I mean? Like, why? I don't know why Marvel's not got a bigger part in the storytelling when that's what they do for a living.
Do you not think it's snobbery? Because I think comic books are still not regarded as a strong medium. Do you know what I mean?
But they're happy to sell them for millions and millions of dollars at the box office. So I mean,
yeah. I mean, I have to say, I'm excited about this. I do think they've produced some of the best films.
One point I would make. Sorry, go on.
I would say that they made the Infinity War and Endgame storyline, on the big screen with the Russo brothers. So I mean, if they can do that, they can do it again. So.
One point I would make is that the impact of all of their films that they did were reliant on what had come before. So, like, Winter Soldier, it was establishing S.H.I.E.L.D. and all of that. Civil War is obviously, all the movies that have come before. Obviously, Infinity War and Endgame. So, since what comes before this new, Avengers 5 and 6, isn't it? 5 and 6. Hasn't been great, so I don't know if that's a hindrance for them now that like they might make a great movie, but like ultimately is it going to be fulfilling at the end because we've not had this really impactful journey over the years and had that build up over the years, you know what I mean?
There was an interesting comment from Feige, wasn't there, where he said something, I can't remember, I'm paraphrasing, but he said basically don't expect to see all of the characters we've introduced over the last few years. They'll come about at some point, but they're not going to all feature in the next few movies.
Yeah.
So interesting.
Whereas like Endgame, they kind of did.
Everybody.
Literally
everybody.
Yeah. I think they were missing was the Netflix characters, basically. Yeah.
Just going back to what sorry,
man.
I was just going to quickly say, just going back to what Sorrel was saying about like the writers from comics and stuff. This might be a question that can't actually be answered. I don't know, but what's the closest we've ever got with any of these films to being the source material? Like, how close have we actually got? Because I know it's just so different, isn't it?
Watchmen is nearly.
I mean, Watchmen's almost word for word, isn't it? Apart from a little bit of a change at the end. V for Vendetta. In terms of MCU, Luke, I don't think we've got one.
No.
I don't think there's anything that really sticks to the source material. It's all tweaks and changes. So yeah,
I mean, don't get me wrong. Sometimes it's for the better. Like I think the whole Infinity War and Endgame, being such a small part in that bigger scale comic, I think they've done that really well and went with that. But yeah, I can't think of any movie, particularly in the MCU, that is a direct,
no,
like with respect to the source material.
For a very long time, almost every superhero movie was, let's take that story and that story and that story and let's just mash them all together, and it's too much in one film. And I think that's something Feige learned doing, like, he was a producer on a lot of the X-Men films, so seeing how Dark Phoenix kind of went wrong and the mutant cure thing went wrong, so that's probably something he's kind of shied away from directly adapting to a T certain storylines.
I suppose the classics, the Captain America and the Iron Man, they stayed relatively faithful to their origin stories, didn't they? Not the bits after that, but the Iron Man, metal in the chest, in the cave, produced the first armor, Steve Rogers getting the super soldier serum, all that kind of stuff was pretty near the mark.
Yeah,
I guess.
it hits the plot beats.
Yeah.
But like in so many of them, they literally are just in name only, aren't they? Like Age of Ultron, for example, was just
Yeah.
name only, and Secret Wars will probably be much the same. It is going to be that general idea of characters from different universes or people pulled to one location, but the actual story is going to be nothing like that comic book, is it?
Yeah. It'll be nothing like it at all. Just going to quickly jump to the chat, guys, before we move on to talk a little bit about Captain America. Deadman is saying the 1959 Action Comics Superman book. Oh, good stuff, mate. I'll check that out when I finish here. Connie, I need to get a job so I can come. I've got a part-time job in the uni in September, but it won't give me thought bubble money. So Weatherspoons is cheap, Connie, man. Weatherspoons is cheap. And you don't need to... You can just sleep in the toilets or something. It'll be fine. You don't need to get a room. You can just stay there. It'll be all right.
She threw in a little brag at the end about the PhD, which I appreciate.
Yeah. She's a very, very clever lady, is Connie. She's a very clever lady. Fuzzy, part head, part Jedi. It's what I do. Absolutely, bud. Faggy also said last week it was Wonder Who. It'll be rumoured next week. So we'll see. Okay, interesting stuff. The last film about bridges wasn't special. I didn't see that one. Is that the one you're talking about, Luke?
That's
That
the
was
other
one of
thing.
them,
Yeah.
A lot of their non-Marvel films lately haven't really been great. Like they did the Graham Ham, which wasn't great, and I think they did the Cherry, I think, with Tom Holland wasn't very good. So like
that's why
the
I'm
other
quite
thing,
concerned, because obviously
Yeah.
it was all leading to Infinity War and Endgame, and so like with Civil War and those movies, like the stuff that they did for Marvel in that era was really good. I don't know if coming back to it might tarnish that work as well, like make people realize, oh, maybe they're not as great.
Fuzzy's just saying here he's officially confirmed Nova TV show coming in 3 or 4 years.
Yep.
I feel like he confirms Nova every couple of months. I think we've been talking about that for ages.
But it's weird for him to say it without like. Comic-Con's next week. Would you not have announced that then? Or maybe he just doesn't want people to see a thing and then it's like, it's not for a while.
It's a passion project for him, isn't it? Like he's always very, very clearly stated that he loves that character, and and I think that's nice as well, because we know that when it does come, he's going to do it justice.
Yeah.
Like he ain't going to rush that one.
And hopefully it'll be Richard Rider as well. I think, you could have a really cool story of Richard Rider teaching the new Nova Sam in that. That would be cool. We have got, obviously, San Diego Comic-Con this weekend, so we'll be doing a show next weekend about that. One of the rumours already circulating, don't know if you guys saw the mock poster for it, but there's rumblings that they're going to announce Thor, the Legend of Hercules. So the next Thor movie based on Hercules.
Who's excited for that?
Nah. I mean, I'm a massive Thor fan, but
yeah,
not sure. Captain America: Brave New World. Just to briefly touch on this, guys. We had the trailer. Trailer was pretty cool. We had the Red Hulk, obviously introduced at the end. I don't know. Is anybody excited?
My favourite part about that trailer was reading the comment section underneath, and I swear to God, right, somebody just done this as a wind-up. I don't think they actually meant it, but my favourite comment was someone going, "Oh my God, he must be really angry because now he's red."
Yeah.
God.
Are you excited, Sorrel?
No, I think I was the only person on the planet that saw that trailer and went, "That looks naff." I'm not excited for it at all.
Do you know what? I love the Captain America's movies. They're probably one of my favourite franchises. I'm hearing nothing but bad stuff about this movie, about the rewrites, about everything. I don't know. Sean's saying he's not excited for anything at the moment. James, what about you?
So, Winter Soldier is my favourite movie. Let alone Marvel movies, is my favourite movie of all time. And we've had various projects over the last few years where they've said this is like, this is going to be more grounded. This is going to be more like Winter Soldier, with like Black Widow, they said that. With Secret Invasion, they said that. And they just weren't, And I remember even the Black Widow trailer having like a really cool tone to it. I dug that. And in the movie, it's a bit more your average Marvel than it looked initially. So I'm interested in what I saw in the trailer, but I'm not going to get super hyped about it. I also think it is kind of rehashing a lot of the stuff from Falcon and the Winter Soldier, where it's like we're still questioning, is he worthy to be Captain America, and this kind of thing where I thought that was what that entire show was for, and at the end I am Captain America, and I thought we'd just move forward like that, you know.
And I have to say, I'm scared about the CGI. I don't think Marvel's got a good track record with the CGI. This could look shite beyond belief. I've got visions. I mean, they've not showed with the Hulk's face. And is that because they've splattered Harrison Ford's face over some kind of horrific 3D image? Do you know what I mean? And it's going to look awful.
What if it's just the Green Hulk painted red and they've just stuck a little mustache on in post-production?
Yeah, like one of those ones you buy in joke shops.
Yeah.
Each scene you can have a different one.
He made a point of saying he shaved the mustache off, didn't he? In the trailer. The thing is, like, other than that point that I just made about the mustache, the thing is that I don't actually remember much of the trailer. Like, I remember watching it. I remember talking to you guys on the little WhatsApp group and everything and saying, like, oh, what do you guys think? But then now I've just forgotten about it. And I feel like this is the way that this content is becoming, because you're just watching it and then you move on to the next one. You just watch it, you move on to the next one. And it just drifts aside in the background. None of it's memorable.
Pussy saying, I'm looking forward to it. Don't listen to any of the rumours. I'm excited about Gina Carlo character and where he goes after this. Yeah, they're talking that he's Bridge, aren't they? I'm not sure about that. He came out, even after all those rumours, he came out and said nobody's guessed it yet. So I've got a feeling he's a brand new character. Deadpool, gentlemen. Deadpool this Thursday. Cannot wait. Got me tickets. Hyper about this. Spoilers, ladies and gents, for the latest trailer. So spoilers.
Shit,
So please look away.
Okay,
We obviously got this. Sexy. So we kind of knew Lady Deadpool was coming. This looks cool. What's more interesting, though, is the whole lineup of different variant Deadpools behind her. We'll get a cowboy version, all kinds of stuff. So I think that's going to be really interesting. But the big spoiler. So look away, guys, if you don't want it. But the big spoiler in the trailer was, of course, this at the end. X-23 back in action. So I'm over the moon about this. I think this is going to be cool. I hope this isn't just a kind of a fleeting cameo.
I think that's exactly what this is. I don't think she's
Did you not see the interview with her?
No.
So there's been an interview with her in Film Magazine this last week, and she does actually say she doesn't say how long she's in the film for, but she does say she is a substantial character in the movie, and the whole idea of the character this time around is that she's grew up without Wolverine. She finally gets him back and refuses to let him go again, so she's quite protective of him. So she must be in it quite a bit.
Well,
I'd
I'm
love to see her in
fucking
the costume.
annoyed. I'm annoyed that we're 4 days out from the movie and that they just gave this away, when that would have been such a cool going into it, not sure, is she going to be in it, is it going to be a cameo, and then she actually is like one of the main supporting characters of it. Why would you do that? Like,
But you know, we've said this many times, haven't we? If you want to
do
go
it
to
because
the
it sells tickets.
Yeah,
It's
and
like
if you
does
wanna
it though?
go-
Is anyone not going to go see this
'cause it's
movie,
like
and
with
then they are now because of this?
Well, there'll be some people out there. It's like the Abigail film, isn't it? And revealing the twist in the trailer, which would have made it a better film had you have seen it in the cinema.
I don't
Yeah,
know that
but
I agree.
the whole movie was marketed around the fact that it's a vampire.
It's a vampire.
movie, though.
Yeah,
It's-
I mean,
they've
I wouldn't have
gone
gone to
this
see that
entire
if it was a little
time.
girl.
Yeah, they've gone the entire time without telling us that she's in this. So
I love
why would you
this.
Tell us now.
I love this from Fuzzy. Blind Al is my guest for Lady
That would be
Deadpool.
fucking hilarious.
tremendous.
That'd be so good. Yeah.
So yeah, hyper about this, guys. Cannot wait for it. It's going to be, I hope it's going to be epic. And what we're hearing is good stuff. So fingers crossed. Oh. Acolyte. Has anybody watched all of this series? I have.
Unfortunately.
James.
Yeah.
Sorrel.
No, I gave up on episode 5, I think.
Yeah.
I wish I
Yeah,
had.
about
I
5.
wish I had.
Five's
James-
an odd one
Wait,
to
put
give,
it
out, to
put
give
it
up
this
on.
way, Hasbro can't even sell the product they had to send it me. Let's put it that way. You had to send me a box and say, please review it. Please.
I mean, it's yeah. James. So James, you can tell a little bit about this last episode. Again, spoilers, ladies and gents. What the shit? I mean,
Okay,
Darth
So-
Plagueis or some shit.
this is Darth Plagueis. So it's a. I'm gonna give you the context for anyone who hasn't seen this. The context of the scene. So it's about halfway through the last episode, and the main character and the villain have kind of are in a sort of weird, are we gonna team up or not kind of situation, and they leave, and the camera pans to a cave, right? There's no hint of this character being in this at all, and then it's just a hand comes around the corner and it shows Darth Plagueis, who is Palpatine's master. So
But hang on.
Yeah.
Absolutely no context or anything for someone who
I mean,
isn't.
fuck you if you don't know who this character is.
Yeah.
It's going to be confusing because he doesn't show up again in the rest of the episode.
Creepy old fuck appears in a cave. He's been watching them for weeks or whatever, and it was like, and you see him for a few seconds. It was like, all right, please get back to the shitty twins switching personalities left, right, and centre. Bollocks.
I think and so it doesn't show up for the rest of the episode, and I think there's the other cameo. Are we going to show as well, Pete?
Nah, I can't bear it.
Okay, so the very last shot of the show, it doesn't really have an ending. It wraps up one storyline, right, and then it sets up more things for the next season, which we're probably not going to get because everyone fucking hates this. And it has one of the characters walk into a room, and the camera pans down, and it's the back of Yoda's head, and cut to black. I fucking hate this show. Dog shit. I mean, this is probably the worst thing Star Wars has ever done. I think it's just like there was so much potential for it. Like, I mean, you look at that last episode, just like, well, why didn't you just give us Darth Plagueis for the whole thing? Why wasn't what you want to do in season 2 what season 1 was, and made a satisfying show with interesting characters and a cool storyline.
But I guess this is the danger of almost pandering to fan bases, because I remember we've talked about this before, where I would be sat in the cinema when Marvel was first hitting the screens, and you would get a Nick Fury walking in and saying something, and I'd be like on the edge of my seat, and my mates who don't read comics would be sat there saying, "The fuck's the matter with you? It's just Sam Jackson, man." And like, no, this is the. Yeah. And I think that's what they're hoping for in this, that people will go, "Oh my god,
I
it's
think
Darth
for
Plagueis."
Star Wars fans, absolutely. When it happened in the thing, I was like, "Oh my god." But then they don't follow up on it. Like he doesn't come expect and like I remember in Boba Fett, right? At the end of the second last episode, Cad Bane shows up, and then he's the main villain in the last episode. And I remember being annoyed. I was like, well, why wasn't he just the villain in the whole thing? And this is that, but like, I mean, just 10 times worse, because he doesn't even show up again. Like, it's just one. Here he is.
The only thing I will give this
why,
show, the only thing I will give this show is I thought some of the lightsaber battles were pretty impressive.
The fight scenes were
I enjoyed
excellent.
the fight scenes.
I think it looks quite good. I like some of the characters. I think I liked Soul, even though he's a dumbass for certain scenes and makes him look to be a bit of a predator at points. And I like the villain. I like the villain a lot, to be honest.
Yeah, I like
think
the villain.
that character deserved a better show.
Are you guys buying the hot toy?
Like shite. Like shite.
I genuinely, I think it's probably the worst things Disney Star Wars that they've done yet. Like, I mean, just insultingly bad. Like, I remember saying when I'd watched the first 3, what's everyone talking about? It's not that bad. And I think a lot of people complain about stupid shit. I think, oh, lesbian space witches, and that, oh, Kid and Money's birthday is actually this, and Legends and shit. Who cares? But like basic storytelling fundamentals that this show just fails to do.
Now, to be fair, Mr. Keegan, I have said from day one, it's the writing and the acting in this show that turned me straight up. I don't. Right. And you mentioned, I forget the good Jedi. I'm saying good. None of them are good Jedi.
Saul.
They're all lying bastards.
Yeah,
Saul, the child stealing liar. Yeah. Even him, bless him, learned English for this role, but he's as wooden as bloody Pinocchio.
I settled into it. That I didn't bother. I hate the main characters. And like, I think when you're 6 episodes into a show and you don't understand what the motivations of your main characters are, I mean, that's just like, that is the first thing you decide when you write a character is what do they want?
Yeah. Sorry,
what's their motivation?
chaps, we'll move off from this because you guys haven't seen it. But just before we do, one question, James.
Yes.
Why we've talked about the sisters switching personalities every episode, well, every scene, one minute the good, one minute the bad.
Yeah.
The weird little sniffing creature, why did he suddenly decide to fuck the ship up and smash the ship up?
I thought that was confusing, and they never explain it, and I don't know. I will say one thing I liked in that. We said the fights were good. I did quite like I like some of the story points in concept, and I like the idea of like, are the Jedi good guys, and is this a weird thing that they go and take kids and stuff? I like questioning that. and I like having a more sympathetic Sith character. I think is interesting as well. But it's just, and I did like the lightsaber bleeding thing at the end. That was a cool thing to see on screen. I enjoyed how they did that, but it was just like, I mean, I remember Fuzzy called this a train wreck, and I said that's a bit harsh. But I mean, it's a fucking disaster.
With the lightsaber
In Fuzzy
bleeding
we
thing,
trust. In Fuzzy we trust.
Yeah.
Fuzzy knows the score. What are you saying, Sorrel?
with the lightsaber bleeding thing, though, they've just now created a problem because now Anakin's lightsaber at the end of Revenge of the Sith doesn't make any sense because he kills a load of younglings and it remains
General
throughout
Grievous as well, doesn't he? General Grievous has lots
General
of different
Grievous
coloured ones.
is a droid.
General Grievous don't really count as a droid.
Sort of.
But still,
No, because I
Hayden
think you
Christensen's lightsaber, come on.
use your. It's you are like actively pouring your hatred and your emotions into the thing, whereas Anakin didn't really get a chance to do that. Also, I mean, Anakin's switch never really made that much sense. Anyway, I do think a lot of the problems with the show are actually people at the time would have applied to the prequels as well, in terms of like the writing and acting and that kind of stuff. So like that's. They could almost say it's an homage to the prequels in a way,
In summary, I think what we're saying is cack, yeah?
I mean,
I'm honestly surprised that we've got Cameron Monaghan, who plays Cal Kestis in the games. He's one of the most popular characters in Star Wars at the moment. Let's be honest. Why have they not used him as a live action character yet and crossed him over with Obi-Wan or something? And
That's
and
Star
bring in.
Oh no,
No,
sorry.
no, from the games. Yeah.
They released the hot toys. Sorry, they released a bloody trooper from it, and we all got excited, thinking, "Ooh, this must
Cal?
mean something." Shite all.
My guess is that they just want to tell that story in the game, and if the third game ends and he's still alive, we might get a thing then.
Bollocks. Luke. PSA to enter the market, currently dominated by CGC. Next year, PSA will clean and press and grade your collectibles. What do you think about that?
Weren't they already doing this for
Cards they were doing.
just
They were doing,
cards?
yeah, they've not done comic books before.
Okay, because I know they've always graded comics because you get like a sticker and stuff put in the book, which then CGC has complained and said that would downgrade your.
I think they would authenticate signatures and things like that, but they didn't grade
like
them.
at signings and stuff. Yeah.
Yeah.
I can see it because obviously they've been in the card business for years, but let's face it, now CGC are pretty much top of the game, aren't they? Like now that they're verifying signatures and everything else, I still think the two big competitors are CGC and CBCS. I don't think that's ever going to change. So these other companies will dip their toes into it, and some people will give it a try. But yeah, it's
I think
it's neither here nor there.
I think PSA brings with it a pretty big kind of reputation.
They they have a great reputation, but not in the same way. Cards and I don't know. I mean, CGC have then delved into cards, like they've done the comics first. I just think there's too much of a difference between the two formats.
Yeah.
A single card versus a comic book or a magazine or anything else. I do think there is a difference there. You're looking at the separate pages, the staples, all this other stuff that goes along with it. But yeah, like you say, it is a name out there. I mean, I thought that they'd done it already, so it goes to show what I know.
I think, personally, and I'm interested to know what Sorrel and James will think of this, I think PSA is a big hitter over in the States in particular. CGC are a massive hitter. CBCS, only real market kind of one-upmanship was the fact that they did the signature verification. They've lost that now. So I see CBCS disappearing, if I'm honest. Or as Fuzzy says, CGC will buy them out. Sorrel, you're not a grader as such, are you?
I haven't had anything graded at all, so I can't really comment on this one.
Yeah. What about you, James? I know you've had a few books graded.
Yeah, I think a lot of people like consistency. If you have 5, certainly I do. If you have 5 CGC books, you're probably not going to want to deviate from that. And there's even to the point that I know that like if you have two books the same grade from different companies, the CGC one tends to go for more because people prefer the CGC one. So
certainly
I feel like they have too much of a hold on the market for any company really at this point to to compete
But
properly.
I think that works the opposite way. If someone was buying, say, a sports card, I think they would go for the PSA one
Absolutely, I
over the
agree.
CGC.
Yes,
And I think it's just about these companies staying in their own lanes and
Yeah.
working alongside each other as opposed to competing.
I think PSA do video games as well, don't they? I think from memory. I think
not
they
sure.
do.
I know there's Wata do games, and there's another one, but CGC. But then I think if you're a comic book collector and a video game collector and a card collector, you might want all of them to match. So that's the in. CGC can get into another one, but I think it's harder for another company to come into
Absolutely.
to CGC.
I think competition's always good, isn't it? And that'll drive up hopefully better product for us guys. Okay. Sorrel, have you been watching House of the Dragon?
No, it's the one thing I've not watched yet. I'm waiting for it to finish. Then I'm going to grab the because I've.
Why
I've
is
not got
everybody
Sky.
doing that? I've heard that from three
And
different people.
it's on Now TV for me, so it's not. I haven't got Sky, so I'm waiting for it to end. Then I can buy one entertainment pass for 1 month and binge watch it rather than pay.
Oh, okay.
Because otherwise, it cost me like 3 months or something to watch one program.
Yeah.
So,
So,
Luke, you're not watching this, are you?
No, but much like Sorrel, I really want to. And my problem is slightly different because, yes, I am waiting for it to be finished, but I'm actually waiting for it to be completely finished because I've been so I'm still hurt by Game of Thrones. Like I can't I want to just hear that it ended well. Like I just
Well,
You
but
see-
that's the thing is you can check how this ends though, because this is a completed story.
Yeah.
Like from George R. R. Martin. It's not like writers have to make up the ending, you know.
well, yeah, but it also means like are they following it? You know, are they?
Like
following
almost.
They
Well,
are.
see,
Word
the thing
for
about
word.
the source
Okay.
material is it's like a history book, and it's got multiple. So there is like contracting storylines of how certain.
Well, in
events
that
happened,
case,
you know?
maybe I'll start it sooner and watch it as it's going because
I'm
that's
a,
always my biggest concern.
I'm an outlier here, guys. I thought the last season of Game of Thrones was great. I really enjoyed it. Everybody gets very upset
Peter,
about it.
I
It kicks off.
respect your opinion,
But you're wrong.
No,
wrong.
Peter,
You're
Peter, you're
so
right.
wrong.
Peter, you're right in the sense of the majority of the season was just as good as everything that came before, but that last episode was shockingly bad.
I would disagree.
Like,
I think the entire last season is bad.
As
loved it at the
the
time, and in
as the episodes
retrospect,
were
it's bad.
going on, I'm looking at the runtime and I'm going, there is not enough time to wrap this up. They are not answering the questions that I want answered. Like, where is
Well,
this
I
going?
enjoyed it. So anyway, moving on to this, guys, because I'm just conscious of time. Just going to quickly jump to the chat before we move on. Oh, sorry, we'll talk about this. We're not going to give spoilers. Sean said he hasn't seen the latest episode, neither have I, Sean, so we're not going to give
Now, when
spoilers.
you say latest now, because there was an episode
The one
like
that-
at 2
episode-
a.m.
episode
that's
6, is it, or
currently airing
5
now?
now?
Yeah, 6.
We'll not do detailed spoilers anyway, James. We'll just talk in general about the thing.
Yep.
Fuzzy saying CGC are grading tarot cards. Bloody hell. Connie has no interest in House of the Dragon. Cack. Good. I'm glad my word catches on. Okay, so before we move to James, because I know he's a big fan of this, I loved Game of Thrones. Me and my wife watched Game of Thrones in maybe a month or two. We did, as you've described, Luke. We didn't watch it episode to episode. We watched it, I think, during COVID, where we watched the entire bloody box set, which might be why I enjoyed the last season, because it was just a natural progression or whatever. Loved season 1 of this. I'm loving the second season. The only thing I would say is, fuck me, do you need some kind of encyclopedia or something? Because we stop it every 5-10 minutes to try and work out who's who or which castle's that, where they're going now.
Harrenhal.
What's
Where's
going on with
Harrenhal?
that one? Who the hell's Harrenhal? Yeah, who's that then? Who's this kid? You know, so it does get quite hard. But the complexity of the story is stunning. The special effects are first class. Episode, I want to say 4, James, 3 or 4.
The battle kind of episode. Yep.
Shit the bed, just
Just
stunning.
incredible. Yeah.
So yeah, I'm loving this, loving it. James, yourself?
Yeah, so for me, like, and if anyone who watches this show is like struggling with like names and stuff, there's a really great channel called Alt Shift X that does explained videos, about 25 minutes long on every episode, and he'll go over who this character is and what house there is and where in Game of Thrones that house might have shown up and stuff like that. So like I'm quite well versed in the little details of this. I think it's fantastic. I just think the characters are so good. Some of the storylines in this season like are actually quite surprising. So like Damon, Matt Smith's character, he's sort of in like a spooky kind of situation for the last few episodes. That's really cool. I think like, you know, and maybe it's going on a little bit too long, but at this point, but I thought it was really interesting. And just like things happen, you know, like even the talking episodes. I think like the newest episode from last night has some like Game of Thrones level like dialogue scenes in it, and I think I'm really loving how the story is coming. It's got some great surprises. Like I even, you know, I read the books, and there's a couple of moments like I wasn't expecting how they took on certain characters and stuff, and just it's just really gripping. Like I'm really loving it. So I'm so
cool.
happy. Yeah. So check it out.
Be good once it's concluded and you guys have watched it. We'll do a season review.
Going back to Connie's comment there, I'm completely the opposite. I'm finding myself loving fantasy stories more as time's going on. It's probably because of the state of our world at the moment. It's nice to escape. But, you know, I've always been into the sci-fi side or the horror side and never really cared much about like the magical and the fantasy. But now I'm all in. Like I'm really loving all of it.
See, I think I'm just a all-around geek because I love all of that. Do you know what I mean? I love all those different elements.
Well,
I always like the old mythology, like the old stories, but never found myself drawn to anything in particular. But like I said, going back and seeing Lord of the Rings and stuff like that, which I never appreciated when it was out, but now I've been watching it recently. Like, if you can believe that, I haven't watched Lord of the Rings until like this year.
Well, what I love about Game of Thrones, like the universe Westeros, is like it's a realistic take on fantasy. It doesn't shy away from how depraved human beings can be, you know, and what's that like in the world, and you know the politics of it and everything. I love it. You know?
Not yet, Fuzzy. We've not had a lot of incest. We did have a scene.
Hang on now.
Hang on.
It's all incest, Peter.
It's all of it. Yeah.
So
in Damon basically having it up with his niece, isn't that the whole point of the?
That was the first season.
He's married. He's married to his niece
her.
currently.
Yeah, but you've not seen it.
He's had kids with her.
There is in the last. Not last night's episode, but last week's
acceptable,
episode, there is a sequence where a character fantasizes about having sex with his mother.
Yeah, that was odd. That was odd.
Strange.
Yeah,
you know.
And I was watching it with my wife, and there's a scene where they walk into a brothel. And
oh my god!
Literally, the scene. You open some and there's literally oral sex.
You could just
right in front of you. And I was like, oh.
I mean, full on. Like, it was like, Jesus Christ. Yeah.
Yeah, I was like, he's a healthy young man. Yeah. Yeah. Okay, just another little bit of CGC news I just wanted to mention to you guys because this has got me very excited. This is a YouTuber, Longbox Love Affair. Great channel. He's done a bit of an experiment recently, which I just wanted to mention. You know, CGC, you've got these new labels now where they are grading and authenticating signatures. There's been a lot of confusion because in their explanation of what they'll grade, they've said if your comic comes with artwork, so if it's a sketch cover or something like that, and it, how the phrase it is something like, and it downgrades or damages the book in some way, you'll get a green label. So this guy's experimented. He sent off 5 or 6 slabs, all with varying degrees of sketch covers and art and stuff on them. And they've all come back authenticated. So they've authenticated the signature and then they've wrote on the label image or something like that. They haven't said image by the artist. They've just said authenticated signature with sketch. So I think that's fantastic. That for me opens up all kinds of doors because I've got tons of these that I want to send off now.
So that was my biggest concern too when that was all first announced, and I was like, well, that's a waste because all of my signatures have sketches or remarks. So yeah, that's a complete game changer. That's
it's worth watching this video, Luke. And like I say, he sends off about 6 different books, all with varying degrees of sketch and remark and things like that, and all of them come back with the new label. So yeah, well worth it watching if you're wanting to send some books off, because I definitely will be. Oh, Sorrel, we'll come to you for this one. Beetlejuice trailer. You seen it?
Looks amazing. Well,
just stunning. So have you seen the latest trailer? Yeah, with
Oh yeah. I'm loving the fact that Beetlejuice's wife is like a bit like a Bride of Frankenstein kind of thing, but there was that bit at the end where she like more or less sucked the soul out of someone or something. Like she just dropped this dead body. Like Jesus. But no, it looks good. I mean, I'm excited for it. I was really worried about this movie going into it, to be honest. But that last trailer's just squashed any worries I had.
I was worried that Keaton wouldn't be able to pull off Beetlejuice. That sounds wrong. Wouldn't be able to do Beetlejuice. That sounds worse. I was worried that he wouldn't be able to perform as Beetlejuice to the extent that he has previously. But actually, I thought this trailer was phenomenal. Luke, you're a Beetlejuice fan.
Massive Beetlejuice fan. I've got the original movie poster on the wall, and I've just got the movie poster for this one delivered in the post today. I am all over this. Absolutely love the trailer. I still have the same reservations as I did when we first had it announced, which is, for me, the deal breaker is I just need an explanation about what happened to the two ghosts, Adam and Barbara. Like, I'm okay if they're not in it. But like the whole idea of the premise being that they're trapped in that house for like 100 and something years. I want to know what happened to them. So if they can just let us know, then I'm fine. I'll accept whatever they say, because the rest of the trailer was freaking awesome. I get this idea that like the character of Lydia has got a bit of a name for herself. You know, maybe she's communicating with the dead for other people and stuff like that, a bit of like a quack, as it were. And the fact that they've come back home to that little village and stuff like that, she's a bit of a known name in the area. And I love the fact that it looks like, you know, she needs Beetlejuice's help, you know, and so it's a partnership, you know, and that in itself reminds me of the original animated cartoon, which again I loved when I was a kid. Yeah. So I'm all in for this. I absolutely love it. The effects
just looks awesome. Fun. It just looks fun, doesn't it? It just looks like a laugh, and it looks funny, and it looks. Let's be honest, and you can argue like backwards, I suppose, but pretty shocking special effects at times compared to today's standard. It doesn't look real, do you know what I mean? But it's not meant to. It's stop motion. It's meant to look like that, so and it works. James, are you a fan of the original Beetlejuice?
I have seen it, and I remember thinking it was fine and not really falling in love with it the way. Now I do have the feeling, because we're going to be watching this soon for One Good Scare, that I'm going to fall in love with it when I watch it again. Like, I think I watched it maybe 15 years ago or something like that, so I was probably like 12, 13, 14, whatever. So yeah, I think it's cool. I love the spookiness, and I love Tim Burton, so like I'm sure, you know, my passion for this will ignite once around when this movie's coming out.
It better, or can't be friends anymore. So yeah,
I don't believe that Tim Burton or the cast would have came back for this if they didn't want to do it, if there wasn't a reason to do it. And I have faith in this cast. I have faith in Tim Burton. I'm so happy that we're getting a sequel.
Me too.
And the beauty is that with the titles, if they do give us a third, it'll be Beetlejuice. It's perfect, because even if we don't get a sequel, we've still got the name being said 3 times just in the 2-disc lineup. So that works too. You know, positive.
I
probably get Beetlejuice the musical down the road as well. I'd say a movie of that.
I honestly think this film is going to end with a to be continued in part 2 kind of thing, or Beetlejuice will return kind of moment, because of the fact that they're not going to stop at Beetlejuice. It's too easy. It's too easy. Beetlejuice. It's too obvious, too easy. So I've got a feeling they've already filmed it. I think they probably did the whole thing back to back, and they've just not talking about it. They're just kind of trying to keep it a secret.
I wonder, because those original ghost characters have not been featured at all, Luke, have they? No. I wonder if it'll end with Beetlejuice, you know, they're going to go hunt for those characters or something like that. That'll be the lead into the next film. I've ordered the hot toy, the sideshow toy of this particular figure, but now I need a Bob. Because Bob's just, I love him.
So my favourite thing about that is when Bob's wearing the Beetlejuice suit, the original toy from back in the day with Kenner used to pop the head off and it had the little head underneath. Yeah. And it's such a nice little homage to that as well, because I feel like your old toys are being played into the nostalgia of the movie. It's great.
Looks amazing. Cannot wait. Wanted to mention this. This is a little bit of... Sorry, was someone saying something? I missed something.
Sorry, I was just going to say, do you think we will get a cameo from... I forgot his name now. The guy that plays him on Broadway that made him popular. From the musical.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, you could do, couldn't you?
He's been in quite a lot recently. He's obviously... he does the hotel... what's it called on Amazon and stuff? The cartoon. He put his voice in that and stuff. I just wondered if he would appear in this as a live-action, like alternate Beetlejuice.
That would be cool. That would be very cool. Yeah, that'll be very cool. Okay, bit of comic news. So DC are jumping on the bandwagon and are releasing their own version of the Ultimate Universe called Absolute. So we've got 3 initial books, all by good heavy creators. We've got Absolute Superman, Wonder Woman, and Batman. You can't really see it that well in that image, but have you guys seen the Absolute Batman full picture? It's weird. He's like huge. He's like a wrestler, kind of massive. You can see his thighs on there. He's beefy. It's weird. Basically the premise for all of these is it's a bit like Ultimate Universe, starting from scratch, and it's like they've just tried to wipe out what makes the characters to me. So Superman by Jason Aaron, who's a superb writer, so I've got a lot of faith in him. But this Superman has no family, no fortress, no home. Will he still stand for truth, justice, and a better tomorrow? And that's interesting, and a better tomorrow instead of in the American way. In this new universe, Wonder Woman, no island, no sisterhood, no mission of peace. You getting the picture? Batman, no money, no mansion, no butler. Yeah, I don't know. I'll pick these up probably, see what they're like.
It sounds like they've just made Superman into Homelander.
Yeah.
Sounds...
Yeah. Fuzzy, bollocks. The last thing DC needs is another Batman title. And I thought they already had this with Black Label. I thought that was their kind of an Elseworlds, their version of just do whatever you want kind of thing. So I don't know what the point of this is. I will pick them up just to see what they're like, I think. I've been to see, because of Mr. Keegan, I've been to see a lot of shit films lately.
How dare you?
And I take my wife with us on every occasion. And it's fair to say, after the last CAC we watched, our patience was running a little bit thin. So I allowed her to select a film for the night. And this is what she made us go and see. Inside Out #2. I'm a massive fan of the first one. Really, really liked the first one. This one was just okay. It didn't have the same emotional impact for me as the last one. It's got some great characters, some interesting kind of concepts, anxiety and things like that in particular. But I don't know. It certainly didn't hit us in the feels like the first one did. It's still a decent film, and kids will certainly enjoy it, I think. But like I say, it didn't float my boat as much as the last one. Any of you guys seen this?
I haven't seen it. I wanted to see it. My biggest concern with it and the introduction of the new emotions, which I get that you have to do, you have to bring in new characters. But in the first film, they already showed you inside the minds of other people, and none of these emotions were there. So it's not like you can just suddenly say, oh, now they're there, because they would be in the older characters. So I get that that's a very minute nitpick, but it's still one that's kind of there. I'm quite sad to hear that it's not all that good. I mean, I'll probably end up seeing it with my kids as opposed to going as an adult. Again, Luke? So my daughter's 8 and my son's 5. But it's more so for my daughter.
Yeah, I'm not sure they'll, because there's a lot of emphasis put on the ginger character there. Nice to see representation. There's a lot of reference put on him in terms of anxiety. I'm saying him. I'm not sure if it's a male or a female or a them. I don't know, but there's a lot of anxiety related issues, and the entire focus is the human character kind of doubting herself and feeling the pressure of adulthood and a teenhood and all the rest of it, and the anxiety. So it is quite an intense thing for young kids, I think. There's not a lot of fun in it, if that makes sense.
It can't be more intense than losing Bing Bong in the first film. Nothing's more intense than that.
That's very true. That is very true. Yeah.
Still makes me cry now.
Yeah. Deadman has seen the DC Universe will start in October and die by next October. Yeah, I agree. Fuzzy, they have the Elseworlds and Black Label. Just do more with them. Absolutely, mate. I love Elseworlds. So just stick with that. Connie wants to see this, but she'll wait until it's online. I think that's fair, Connie. Read the new Biker Mice from Mars comic, like RoboForce. One issue is enough, sadly. It won't be going back. Hearing that a lot, Fuzzy. I've still not got any of those books. I've ordered them with Slabs Crusader, and I don't know where. I think I'm waiting until they all come out or something. So yeah, not read them yet. Comic books. Sorrel, did you have some comics you wanted to mention?
Yeah, I was lucky enough to be sent a book by an indie publisher. We got London Horror Comic.
Very cool.
They're said to
I've
be
got
like
a
the
feeling.
first 3 issues. They're at Comic Cons. They've been at Comic Cons a lot recently.
Yeah, I think I saw them at Thought Bubble.
And they sent
Looks
me a couple
familiar,
of their
yeah.
books over, and do you know what? It was really good. There's a character they've introduced in these books called Jane Silver, and she's a bit of a. It's kind of like Buffy meets like Constantine.
Okay.
It's like she's hunting zombies and things like that, and like undead
Yeah.
characters. Very cool book. I really enjoyed it, but it's well worth picking up.
What's the
Well,
title? Sorry again, Sorrel.
London Horror Comic.
Yeah.
Every book, there's like 2 stories in every book, basically. They're like an anthology kind of story, but like Jane's like their main story, so there'll always be one of Jane's stories in there, and then another alternate.
Dead Man Saying what a great cover. I'm sure I've seen them at Thought Bubble or somewhere. I remember flicking through them, I think.
Check them out.
I did think Biker Mice from Mars were that bad, to be honest. I enjoyed it.
Right.
I thought
Okay.
it was alright.
Good stuff. Good stuff. Anybody else want to mention any comics? No? Grand. Oh, Jesus Christ, Luke. Luke. What the holy shit? What?
So I watched this last night.
Wow.
Because I've always been a fan of Weird Al Yankovic. Like, I've always liked his parody songs, particularly when I was a teenager myself, going out and getting drunk with all the uni lads. And so I remember seeing the mock trailer that they had made years ago. And then everyone was clamoring for a film. Everyone was like, you've got to make this into a real movie. And then sure enough, they did. And it was actually while I was going on to Amazon Prime to watch The Boys that I saw this up there. And I was like, I'm watching that. As soon as I finish The Boys, I'm coming straight back to watch this. It is weird, right? Because it is not your typical biopic. You know, like how you watch these things and it's showing you like their life story growing up and all the rest of it. This is totally played for laughs. Like, none of this is like, if it is genuine, it's so loosely genuine because it's just bizarre. Like, I'm not saying it's good, but I was entertained for the night, and I won't go back to watch anything. But I think it's worth a watch, and more so than anything, it shows how talented Daniel Radcliffe is as an actor.
He's tremendous, isn't he?
Like, he is amazing, and the fact that you always have to explain, like, oh, who's Daniel Radcliffe? Well, he's Harry Potter. He deserves more praise than just being Harry Potter.
I'll never forget. I will, because I've forgotten the name. But these guys will help us out. There's a film with Daniel Radcliffe where he wakes up and he's got guns glued to his hands or something.
Yep.
Tremendous.
Yeah, it's good,
tremendous.
What about Swiss Army Man?
I've never actually watched
one.
that. I've seen
It's
it,
a
but
weird one.
I've seen the trailers, but I've never actually watched the full thing. Anybody else seen this, Wankovic? Anybody else seen this?
No, I wanted to, and I heard really bad things, and then I heard really good things, so I wasn't sure, and just never got around to
might
it.
check
I think it's worth a watch. Like, I'm not saying it's amazing, but I think it's worth a watch for an evening's entertainment. It's certainly got to be better than watching that Star Wars crap.
Yeah. and interestingly, that, just looking at Daniel there, that's what James looks like if he doesn't get his hair souffle on in the morning, James, isn't it? That's what goes on with your noggin.
Actually, I've moved. I haven't bought Chase Souffle in a while because it's too expensive.
Have you not?
Because I never bought it for myself. It was always a present, and no one's given me some lately. So now I'm using a texturizing gel.
A texturizing
So if anyone
gel.
wants to if anyone's thinking, well, James like for Christmas,
Texturizing gel. That's the
That's it.
Okay. I just wanted to very, very briefly mention these. I went a bit mental last week. I haven't bought 1/6 scale figures for a little while, and I bought 3. So I got the Mars Toys Jim Carrey Riddler. Not the best head sculpt, but actually it's workable. I haven't taken him out of the box yet, but I got him with the special edition, the extra mask and stuff like that. Weird figure. Like I say, I haven't filmed the review on this yet, but his ankle joints at the bottom bend in the other way, so it's strange. I picked up the So Toys Homelander figure. Again, not the best head sculpt, but I quite like the glowing eyes version, so that's pretty cool. And this one, Thunder Toys God of the Moon, I'd pre-ordered that a while ago, forgot all about it. This thing's friggin' blown us away. I hadn't appreciated how massive it is, so much so that I've had to reset my collection in one of my shelves because he just doesn't fit. But he is stunning, absolutely stunning. So I've got a lovely display now with him in the centre, and then both of the versions of Moon Knight side by side with them, which
That's
is
pretty
really
cool.
interesting. Really
You don't
interesting
like the
because
show.
I think the show is dog shit. You know what I mean? But yeah, but the figures look nice. So yeah, so I've picked them up. So there'll be reviews of them on my channel shortly. So very cool. Speaking of the main man himself, The Boys. Luke, I know you've been watching this. Are the rest of you up to speed with this season of The Boys? Okay, spoilers ahead, ladies and gents. Luke, tell me what you thought of the Boys this season.
This show as a whole it knocks it out of the park. I think it's so good, and you start to wonder if it's going to lose some of its momentum, some of its quality, and I don't think it has. So I literally binge watched this all the way through to the last episode, and that last episode was on just in time as I reached it, so I was able to watch it immediately. I'm thoroughly entertained with the show, and it's sad, but also I'm excited that it's all coming to a close next season, because this story does need to end. We need to see how these two characters end this dispute. I have my theories. I won't go into it too much here, but I just, I love the show. To put it bluntly and simply, it's just so good, so well made, and
everything about this show is a masterpiece, particularly the acting talent. What I would say, and I'll come to James and Sarah in a second, what I would say is I haven't, now this is unfair, I've loved this series, but I haven't loved it as much as I liked last series. I think I would say I still think it's tremendous. But Sorrel, what about yourself?
Yeah, like you said, it was some bits of it I dragged a bit this season, but that it was worth it for that payoff at the end. Come on, that was amazing. And I enjoyed the introduction of some of the other, some of the newer characters in it as well. There were some really cool new characters involved.
Yeah, I love both of these. They were great.
Mm-hmm.
James? Sorry.
No, I was just saying that the show always makes me laugh because it always feels like it when things are dropping a little bit, just throw another random dodgy sex scene in there that's going to baffle people. Just throw another one of them in there. That seems to be how they handle it.
I mean, I have to say, I thought we'd hit a level, not with sex scenes. I thought we'd hit a level with the flying chickens and things like that. I thought that was.
I literally messaged you guys one word saying
chickens,
to which then Peter messaged me Spider-Man, and then that scene, I was just like, oh my god.
Geeky, what did you think?
I love this. I do think. I would say last season was probably better. Like, I think Soldier Boy, Jensen Ackles, and that was incredible. That's my biased opinion of why that is. But I think this season very much is prelude to it kicking off for like just a stunning final season. But I really loved a lot of where the story went in this. I love these two characters of Firecracker and what's her name?
Sage? Is it
Sage? Yeah, Sage.
Sage.
Just great characters, so entertaining. Like so much intrigue with them. Like Sage in particular, there was kind of like what's going on with her, and I thought there was a really funny moment where the Deep and Black Noir both realized that she was realized that she was screwing both of them. And I really like. I think A-Train's storyline was fantastic.
What
that's what not enough people are talking about, like that kind of redemption for that character and like that moment where he drops.
Well, and I hope he comes back as well. I hope he's still
going
to be out there.
I think he'll have like a showdown with Homelander and
I think he'll join the boys
and die probably is my guess. But just when he drops the guy off at the hospital and the kid sees, I thought that was a really amazing moment. So I loved. I think that's a really character that's not. I feel like had much to do over the last couple seasons. Like he's obviously pivotal to the start of the show. And then kind of meandered and just got picked on by Homelander. I also love I love how unhinged Homelander has become now, where like he's always been, but just like it's just getting worse and worse. Where like he's breaking down, crying about A-Train betraying them, and it's like, man, you like call him a fat fuck and threatened to kill him and everything. Of course he did. So I love that. I love Ashley's storyline. I thought was great, and her kind of role in it, and it's very much pushed the bar in terms of the vulgarity and just how depraved it can get. Like it's still quite shocking. I think that's like one of the kind of hallmarks of this show. So it's
like that ending. They couldn't even help themselves with the depravity at the end, could they? When they realise what it is that's grabbed him at the end.
Yeah. Absolutely. With this really serious moment, and we have this joke character come back for it. I thought that was cool. And I liked how it's tied.
You see, it's interesting because in
the
comics, he's a big Russian guy called the Mighty Sausage, and he's superb. I loved these two characters. I think think these were probably my favourite in the season.
Not the
Butcher.
octopus. Was it Tilda Swinton playing the octopus?
Yes,
It's tremendous. That
was funny.
Butcher. I'm loving the fact that, as it should be, and this follows the comic really, as it should be, this season has ended with the, I think, undeniable fact that Butcher's the villain in the next season. He's not the good guy. He's balls to the wall, kill everybody in sight, murderer. You know.
So this is Breaking Bad, right? The audience has been tricked to root for the bad guy. You know, it's exactly the same premise as what they did with that other show. I think you're absolutely right that he is going to be the main villain of the story. I mean, I had always thought that it was going to be that Homelander would kill Billy, and then that's when Ryan, the little kid, would like step in. But it doesn't look like that's going to happen, or maybe it still will. Who knows?
My sort of problem though with it is, because if I remember in the comics, it is very much his decision. Whereas in this, they've almost played up the he's sick, and that's infected his mind maybe, and like he's got the Jeffrey D. Morgan character kind of in his head and stuff. So like, it's not the character actually doing. So I think he's probably going to have a moment of redemption. I don't think it's going to end the way the book ends.
In the comics,
a redemptive moment towards the end of it.
In the comics, he basically tricks Huey into killing him. So he has that redemption arc in the comics. You know, he kills everybody and then he kills himself, kind of thing.
It's funny that you mentioned the whole Jeffrey D. Morgan thing, because we've been rewatching Walking Dead, me and my wife, and we've just been through the whole Negan thing of him, killing who he kills and everything else. And so when The Boys was on, I was like, can we just stop Walking Dead to watch The Boys? And then sure enough, there's Negan, and sure enough, there's a baseball bat scene. And I was just like, you couldn't plan it. Do you know what I mean? Like, because they had no idea that we were watching it all the way up to that point to then stop.
How perfect is that poster for the next season, bud? Do you know what I mean? I absolutely love that. And I cannot wait. Just going to jump to the comments, guys. Fuzzy, do you think we'll finish season 5 and go on to a movie?
That's what they're talking about now, isn't it? So
a massive, big budget, I mean, that would be amazing. Absolutely amazing. Fuzzy saying I prefer Gen V. I have to be honest, I did as well. I thought Gen V was phenomenal. Really enjoyed Gen V. Sean, season started well, one of the best series out there, but it was okay this season. Yeah, I really want to read the comics, but I doubt I'll buy a compendium now. I'll be honest with you, Fuzzy, it's a long time since I've read the comics. I remember enjoying the comics, but I think the series is better.
Yeah, I don't think the comics are as good as the show.
Yeah.
I don't like the comic at all.
So I'll probably keep away from it, mate. I'll probably keep away from it. Just wanted to mention this. This is one of the reasons I've picked up a lot of subs recently. I visited the Batman Unmasked exhibition down in Manchester, coming to London at the back end of the year. Well worth a visit. I thoroughly enjoyed it. Really, really cool day. They tell you it'll take about 45 minutes, but I wasn't pushed or hurried around or anything like that. I reckon you could spend a couple of hours there if you wanted. 2 really, really cool rooms filled with props, another room with the Batmobile, and then 3 or 4 really weird rooms, which were meant to be the Gotham villain mazes, which were just a bit cack, if I'm being honest. It was like vines hanging from a mirrored room kind of thing. So
did they not have a photo opportunity of you climbing up a wall?
They did. They had all those kind of stuff, but I didn't engage in that.
What?
That would have been the whole reason to go.
But yeah, well worth a visit. If you get the chance, really, really would recommend you pop down. Sorrel, you're not too far from Manchester, are you?
I'm not. No, I'm around the corner. Really?
Yeah, well worth a visit, mate, if you like Batman. Well worth a visit. Cobra Kai, Sorrel. I've not seen any of this. I've seen a little bit of it when my son watched some of it, but
sacrilege.
Yeah.
This, I don't know. For me, this it come out on Thursday, and literally I watched all 5 episodes in 5 hours. I literally binge watched the whole thing. it was a really good season this time around. I really enjoyed it. With part 1, we've got part 2 in November, and then part 3 next year.
So I watched, like I say, an episode or 2 of this when my son was watching it. So I watched it kind of by osmosis. The acting, Sorrel, was possibly some of the worst acting I've seen. Is it meant to be like that? Does it get better?
No, it doesn't get. If you didn't like season 1, you're not gonna like any of it. Put it that way, because it does get progressively just weirder. But it's one of them TV series. If you don't, it's brain rot. If you don't take it too seriously, because if you if you start questioning it, it all falls apart, really, doesn't it? Why is karate the be all and end all of Californian, kids' life?
Yeah.
But no, if you just go into it with just enjoy it for what it is. It's nostalgia to the 80s. It's literally just a bunch of kids kicking the crap out of each other for an hour. It's fine. It's fine.
I will go back and watch it at some point because I'm a big fan of the original Karate Kid. Any of you guys
they've
watched
managed
this?
to tie in all the characters from like the second and third films, and they've done all sorts with it. And the fact this last season has got quite dark now. It's getting quite serious and stuff. It's really good.
You guys seen any of this?
Nope, I've never even seen the Karate Kid.
You've never seen the original
What?
Karate Kid? Wow.
So to be fair, that's the reason why I haven't been able to watch this. So I wanted to start watching this on Netflix, and my wife said she hadn't seen the original Karate Kid, so we ended up watching the movie so that she could then jump on board. And then unfortunately, other stuff has come up since, but it is one that we want to go back and watch.
Yeah, I will watch it at some point.
It was one of the programs that I was able to get my wife involved in because she's not a massive geek. She's more into Disney than anything else. But I mean, even she watched that with me and kind of got it and enjoyed it for what it was.
I will say, my wife, who had never seen Karate Kid, once she watched it, she was 100% on board. Like, she loved it. She thought it was a great movie.
original, Luke?
The original, the original movie.
Because Connie's seen the remake with Jackie. Is it Jackie Chan?
Yeah. Well, you've got to see that one now because it is being dragged. The next movie is literally, Daniel LaRusso and Jackie Chan coming together. So they're tying it all together.
Impressive.
Multiverse.
The Miyagi
Multiverse of Karate Kids. God. I just wanted to briefly mention this. This is interesting. We've been talking about this movie for what feels like a couple of years now. It's kind of hit the press this week that apparently this is unreleasable again. So they're saying that it's just an absolute dumpster fire, so they don't think it's going to get put out anywhere unless it ends up on streaming at some point.
Did it not get reviewed and it was like good reviews on it?
No idea.
I remember reviews for this coming out.
I've been saying this for ages. Remember saying, "Where's it gone? It's vanished. It just kind of disappeared."
Well, I think this is a marketing ploy because that's the whole point of the original one, isn't it? That it's like so bad it's good and all the rest of it. I just think this is part of its production process.
It's charm, yeah.
I have to just say, if they can release films like Attack of the Meth Gator, Wolf Hollow, and Alice in Terrorland, I've knocked my camera over, and Alice in Terrorland, they can definitely 100% release this.
I mean, I have to say, I'll 100% watch Attack of the Meth Gator. That sounds superb.
Look at
James, why are we not watching films like that instead of the cack you make us watch? Do you know what I mean? Attack of the Meth Gator instead of that bloody...
So I have to edit the shit, so I don't want to be staring at a fucking movie I don't give a crap about,
All it says on the back, this should tell you everything you need to know. All it says on the back, when an alligator eats a load of drugs, all hell breaks loose in Florida.
It's Cocaine Bear, but with alligators.
See, I loved Cocaine Bear. I thought Cocaine Bear was so good.
Have you seen Skunk Squirrel? That's amazing too. There's so many of these movies now. There's so many of them. There's one about an octopus on cannabis, which the weirdest thing ever. How does an octopus eat cannabis?
Cannabis?
Oh no, that is a missed opportunity, isn't it? Right there.
Yeah. I've seen a film called Cannabis, but it was a very different kind of
film.
Fuzzy, I dressed it as a shower stall from the original Karate Kid, and not one person understood the reference. I knew my obsession with Justin Bieber in 2009 would come in handy at some stage. Who knew it would be for the Karate Kid? Multiverse of madness, absolutely. And we've got Phil. Nice to see you, Phil. I hope you're well, bud. I never liked the wimpy ends for the first two Karate Kids. I know why they did it, but still, it wasn't for me. Okay, it's years since I've seen it. I'll have to go back and rewatch it. Crocodile was right there. Crocodile, I like that, yeah. And we've got Grey Man. Nice to see you, Grey Man. I hope you are well. Okay, guys. Okay, that's we're whack. That's what we are done, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you so much, everybody. Just quickly canter through some stuff we've got coming up over on my channel. Lots and lots of different videos out there at the moment for you to check out. If you like that kind of stuff, we've got some comic book related stuff, and then we've got retro reviews of things like Starship Troopers. We're going to be putting, maybe tonight or tomorrow night, X-Men Origins Wolverine will be going out shortly. So yeah, lots and lots of stuff to see there. Wednesday night, talking with Luke and Thor Comics. So this is a chap who's got a ridiculous collection of Thor-based memorabilia. And he sent us a video clip of him standing and discussing things with David Hasselhoff. So that's going to be an interesting story. I'm looking forward to that. So that's this Wednesday at 9 o'clock. So looking forward to chatting with Luke. One Good Scare. James, what have we got over on One Good Scare?
So we had our long leg spoiler review last week, and we just had our Inner Violent Nature one come out on Saturday. It got very heated between myself and Peter on that one. We had starkly different
Because
opinions
you're
on it,
insane.
so, yeah, even if you don't give a shit about the movie or something, if you just want to laugh at the two of us just relentlessly slagging each other for 10 minutes and 36 seconds, I'd recommend checking that one out.
Thank God we're not monetized, James, because that video would never get through the
oh my God, fucking tell me. So the schedule's been a bit messed up lately. We've kind of had some stuff going on. So I'll Be Right Back will be on Tuesday. That's going to be on Fright Night Part 2. And we have we're not going to be live this Friday because Peter is busy. So we're going to be doing a premiere for our interview with Peter Atkins, who created Wishmaster. So I'll be in the comment section there. So hop on, watch that. It's really interesting if you want to know a bit of insight into Hollywood and kind of the horror scene in the 90s, and it's pretty cool. So I'd recommend it.
Good fun. Yeah. Good fun. Just to say before we ask the chaps what they've been up to, Fuzzy Crocodile made myself chuckle. I think that's one of your best works, mate. I really do. Rogue One, another great one. Thanks, guys. Not a problem, my friend. Grey Man, the Hoff, aka the real Nick Fury. James, that's the one that we're going to be doing on I Can View This. The original Nick Fury.
Have to?
Yeah, we do. We absolutely do. We absolutely do.
Yeah.
And Grey Man, I am with you, Grey Man. Long legs today, and it was meh. Yeah, I'm overhyped, I think. Sorrel, what have we got coming up over on your channel?
This Sunday, me and Jacob will be going live doing our usual Geek Week in review. This week, it's going to be a recap of all the toy news and stuff from San Diego Comic-Con, all the big announcements. So I'm looking forward to that. And on my channel itself, I managed to get hold of the new Addams Family Funko Pops. So I'm unboxing all them bad boys on the channel this week.
Excellent. Lots of great content over on Super Sorrel's channel, so please do go check him out. And Luke, what we got happening over on Hydra Collectibles?
So as many of you guys know, I've kind of gone all in with Mythic Legions, and the Four Horsemen Studios were actually kind enough to send me a load of their Cosmic Legion stuff because they're doing a big push for sales for this particular month. And yeah, I'm hooked. I love these things. I think they're amazing. So check out some of my videos. I've still got about another 5 more to release, but I feel like I need to space them out a little. I know I need to try and get them all out this month, as I said to them I would. But it is quite heavy on that side of things. So I think I need to get some other videos out in the meantime.
Good stuff. Fuzzy, well done, boys. Thank you very much, bud. Is Sorrel just toys? No, he does all kinds of good content, including geeky news and horror. Speaking for you here, Sorrel, you can see it yourself, can't you? What kind of stuff do you do on your channel, Sorrel?
Yeah, predominantly it is with toys. I've done a lot of toys over the years, but I have branched out to do movie reviews, comic reviews, and everything else in between. So if you want a good old geeky chat, just come on over.
And I have to say,
in on 60k, I'm really excited.
Fantastic, mate. And I have to say, me and James, I'm sure I speak for James as well, absolutely love it when we do with little kind of collabs on your channel with Jacob. It's great fun. So I really do enjoy that. It's always a good laugh. I'll have to get you over onto One Good Scare at some point, mate. Okay. Thank you very much, everybody, for watching. It's been a great night. Thoroughly enjoyed chatting with you, chaps. Next week on Monday night, I've got a new show that I've not talked to anybody about yet. So we're going to have a new show premiering, which I think is going to be interesting. So please do keep an eye out for that. 9 o'clock next week, we're going to be doing The Year in Geek 1977. So we'll be talking all things geek that happened in 1977, including toys, movies, video games, and cartoons. So that should be fun. Right, with that, we'll call it a night. Thank you very much, everybody, and we will catch you all next time. Night.